G'day folks, welcome to the next 4x4 Australia adventure. We're heading up to the islands and beaches of southeast Queensland. We're taking some back roads on the way up here. Tonight's destination is Scenic Rim 4-wheel drive adventure park. We've come up through the Richmond range, heading through the Condamine River gorge. Nice tracks, eh Ron?
Yeah, well, it's all new to me, so it's a really great adventure to experience this part of the world. And it's been pretty quiet. I mean, it's back roads and yeah, just fabulous.
Coming up through the rainforest there in Richmond range, we didn't see anyone else through the whole way.
No, I know, it's been absolutely brilliant. Love it.
This bit of road through here up following the Condamine River, it's got some crossings all the way through as you weave through the farmland. It's really nice country. Yep. It's a day trip for many Brisbane, Gold Coast four-wheel drivers. Just come out here, experience it. Got the lovely waterfalls up here in the ranges. Really nice countryside.
Yeah, beautiful, and a diverse set of habitat, you know, from beautiful rainforest to eucalypt woodlands and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, really good.
Once again, we've got our friends from MSA Accessories along, Nitto Tyres, Nava Lights, Max Tracks and Red Arc Electronics. So we've got some good Australian brands here, some great products to play with along the way.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Let's get into it, mate.
Okay.
But before we set off on our southeast Queensland adventure, here's a bit of what we got up to on a drive through northeastern New South Wales. Straddling the New South Wales-Queensland border in northeastern New South Wales, southeastern Queensland, is a string of parks and reserves, about 50 in all, that make up the Gondwana Rainforest World Heritage Area. It's a magnificent area. In all, it only covers about 0.5 of 1% of the Australian landmass, but these beautiful rainforests contain about 200 species of plants not found anywhere else, 100 species of birds, and heaps of mammals as well. In fact, the wildlife has been so good as we've driven through. We've seen lots of different animals, little roos and wallabies and things like that, including a quoll. It's just been fantastic. Here we are at Murray Scrub Lookout. It's beautiful rainforest. We're looking out from the Murray Scrub Lookout across the Dome Mountain. For the traditional people, one of the sacred sites. It's a magnificent view. Aboriginal people long used this area as a rich source of food and shelter. Europeans arrived in about the 1840s, pioneer graziers initially, quickly followed by the timber getters who came through this range country in search of red cedar, the red gold of the area. Later on, they logged hoop pine and trees like that. Some of the settlements still do today. Kyogle, for instance, is still a logging town, harvesting some of the rich timber out there, but not in this rainforest area. All this rainforest area is completely protected now, which is fantastic to see. Anyway, we've got to keep heading north and we're going to be crossing the Queensland border very soon. I just love the dramatic landforms you have around here. This is Mount Glenny. It's a beauty, isn't it? They were formed during the volcanic eruptions about 20 odd million years ago, if you can wrap your brain around that. And they've spread all through this area. Big volcanic plugs like that. Fantastic. You've got to do a bit of planning and preparation before you head off on any adventure, whether it's for a weekend up in the mountains close to the city you live by or going in the outback. I always use a paper map for the initial planning stages. A great paper map is always good to read, always good to see. It's a bit of a memento of where you've been as well at the end of the day. And then use a navigator for the more detailed places. But don't forget, go to the national park websites or the four-wheel drive park websites that you're going to visit, and make sure you're up to date with any closures or things like that. We got caught out this time by tracks that were shown on the map that weren't public roads. So make sure you know the difference. But anyway, whatever you do a bit of planning and preparation. It gives you a lot more enjoyment for the trip. and go for it. You'll have a ball. Scattered through the parks and reserves of northern New South Wales are some fabulous little camping areas. Right at the moment, we're at Iron Pot Creek camping area, set in the middle of this beautiful, beautiful rainforest. Some are self-registration, where you've got to pay and display your parking and camping permit. Others, like the Border Ranges National Park, you've got to book online before you get there. Bit of a pain if you're planning a trip or trying to plan a trip, but there you go. And then you can come out here and enjoy this incredible environment.
Well, it looks like we're finally on the right track there, Ron.
Yeah, we had a few road closures this morning and put our little plans adrift there for a little while, so it was good to get on there, so.
Yeah, that Border Ranges National Park's normally pretty specky this time of year. It's a shame we couldn't get up there, but anyway, we found this one instead.
Looks like paradise to me.
Yeah, GT, how you going back there, mate?
Yeah, cruising, all good.
Yeah, well, the plan is we're going to link up with the Condamine River to take us up into Queensland. That's a really nice drive through there along the river. It crosses over, I don't know, half dozen times or more. Nice little river crossing, so that should look good.
Yeah, I heard there was a bit of water in the river too, so that'll be really fantastic.
Should look good. That'll take us up into Boona and the Scenic Rim area. We're going to go to Scenic Rim four-wheel drive park and have a bit of a play in there. That should be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that, mate. Looking forward to all of it, in fact.
Yeah, it's a great part of the world around here. The southeast Queensland, northeast New South Wales corner of the country. Nice lush rainforests and great beaches.
Some pretty good pubs too.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to find one or two of those, GT.
So GT, what gastronomical delights have we got, mate?
Noodles. No, we've got a pretty good little stash of food for the next week or so. We've got some steaks and we've got some chicken drumsticks and we've got some hot dogs and hamburgers.
So we're not going to starve.
No one's going to go hungry.
One of the great things about four-wheel driving in southeast Queensland is the range of four-wheel drive parks there are around here. We've pulled up for the night at Scenic Rim Adventure Park, just outside of Rathdowney, only about an hour and a half west of the Gold Coast and 2 hours south of Brisbane. Great park here, right up on the range, plenty of steep rugged tracks and some beautiful campsites down the bottom. We've come right up the top of the mountain now. We found this lovely little log cabin. You could probably stay in here the night. It's got stone floors, big fireplace, overlooks the valley there, fantastic spot. But it's the tracks we're here for, let's go four-wheel driving.
Most four-wheel drivers understand that reducing tyre pressures is critical for beach or sandy desert conditions. What a lot of four-wheel drivers don't understand is you can actually improve your vehicle performance by reducing your tyre pressures in steep and rocky terrain as well. Road pressures of 40 or more PSI don't really cut it. You'll end up bouncing the vehicle around. It's a bit harsh on the suspension and it's particularly damaging on the tracks. So dropping your tyre pressures to 25 or even less, I like 20 PSI, can make things a lot better in the bush.
When I was a kid in Boy Scouts, we were given 3 matches to light a fire. You wouldn't believe how hard that was, especially if the wood was wet. Well, give them the flick. This is what you need. One of these. These are the bee's knees. And crank her up and you'll get some fire going real well. No matter even if the wood is wet, you'll get some action. Now you can buy these in any good hardware store, 30 bucks or whatever, replaceable can. Bit more expensive than 3 batches, but what the heck, it's a lot more fun. Another way to light a fire is to get a dunny roll. Make sure it's not the last one, okay? You don't want to use the very last dunny roll for lighting a fire. So put a little petrol diesel over it, stick it under the wood. Build your fire over the dunny roll. And that'll burn for a good 10 minutes or so. Really good up in the snow. In fact, it was a bushwalking and snow skiing instructor that taught me this one, up in the high country of Victoria. Just remember that when you're playing around with petrol, explosive substance, so be really aware. And don't let your kids do it at home, or anywhere in fact. So there are a couple of ways of lighting a fire, especially if the wood's wetter or you're up in the snow. But I guess a match is probably safer. But then again, you get a nice little fire going like this. It's a beauty.
Yeah, mate, Scenic Rim, not a bad place to come for a bit of four-wheel driving.
Yeah, it's great. Fabulous weather during the day, bit cool at night. Lovely fire though, that's really good.
It's bloody cold up here, and lucky that firewood they supplied is handy. But no,
Just wondering if the logs were big enough.
yeah, they'll burn us all night. That's all right, we've got plenty of beers. Yeah, having this range of terrain here close to the cities is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, for Brisbane people and Gold Coast people, just really good. Easy drive out here, some good camping, some good four-wheel driving, really, really interesting.
We've got nothing like that in Sydney or Melbourne that's so close to town.
Yeah, just an hour's drive. Fantastic. Would be nice if there was a bit more water around, but the country's really struggling at the moment, isn't it?
Very dry up here. Well, mate, the next couple of days we're heading out to the islands.
Yeah, complete change of scenery from rainforests and gum trees and all that sort of stuff down to sea level and beautiful sandy beaches. Nothing like it in Australia.
So from the mountains down to the beaches.
Beautiful.
Cheers, mate. It's a lot of fun.
Cheers, pal. North through Brisbane to one of the real wonders of southeast Queensland, Cooloola, part of the Great Sandy National Park. We found ourselves another hut, an old forestry hut. We're not even in the Victorian High Country. In fact, we found our way through Brisbane into Cooloola National Park to Harry's hut on the delightful Noosa River, upstream from Noosa itself. It's a magic spot. Been coming here years ago, doing a bit of canoeing and wandering through the scrub. Terrific spot. So let's head off and find a camp in this Great Sandy National Park. Cooloola is probably best known for its pristine, easily accessible beaches, but the recreation area also covers a vast hinterland surrounding the Noosa River. You know, Aboriginal people have been using this area for generations, while Europeans only came here in the 1860s, harvesting the tall stands of timber. Logging ceased in the early 1990s and the recreation area was declared only in October 2010. there's fabulous opportunities for bushwalking, nature watching, camping and canoeing.
Oh, yeah, that's good, yeah. There you go. There you go. Now sponsored by Water Smoke. Hello there. Boys are into it.
A magical bit about the Noosa River up here at Harry's Hut is the canoeing you can do. It's about 12 kilometres down to the lakes, and a beautiful series of lakes that get salter and salter as they get closer to the sea. And then up from here is about 15 camps that you can camp along the river, just dotted along the edge of the river. So there's a lot of canoeing and a lot of people come here just for a day trip or for longer trips up the river. Fantastic. I've been lucky enough to meet up with a couple of Victorians who are going to lend me their kayak for a little while. So let's go and have a paddle. I'm not used to these high-tech things. So how far have you been upstream? Okay. So how much do these boats weigh? like a
Very gracefully.
beach whale.
That's the one. Whoa.
Like a beach whale.
You did well.
After that very pleasant paddle on the river, it's just magic, just and terrific in the morning, fantastic. And that elegant dismount from the canoe, it's time for us to head north to Rainbow Beach. We had a 4-hour drive ahead of us, but it was no hardship as it took in a variety of verdant habitats onto the beaches towards our final destination for this leg of the trip. This route, the Cooloola Way, cuts right through the heart of the park, through heathland and swamp gun country. Right now we're at the headwaters of the Noosa River. This low-lying country floods a lot, knocks the road around something shocking, and if it's wet, it can be a real challenge. Luckily for us, we've had it pretty dry. So let's keep rolling along.
All right, lunch in the bush. We've got 7 or 8 people on this little trip. I'm a big fan of the these wraps, they're terrific. They store quite well, they travel quite well. Ham, salad, anything you like, sometimes even leftovers if you've had spaghetti or something the night before. But because we did a shop yesterday, we've got lovely, fresh bread rolls. I've got some tomatoes here somewhere. Hopefully they're not squashed. Once you've got the basics prepped, everybody comes in and makes their own sandwich and everybody's a happy camper.
After 5 days of wandering through the scrub, rainforest and eucalypt forests of southeast Queensland, we finally came to the best sight of all, the sparkling blue Pacific Ocean and its fringing white sands.
Standing next to Highway 1, waiting for a call, staring at the ocean sun, felt nothing at all. Feels like coming down.
This is Rainbow Beach, one of the true gems of southeast Queensland.
Standing next to Highway 1.
And we had a surprise guest, one of Australia's best travellers, waiting for us.
Staring at the ocean sun, felt nothing at all.
When you come up to Queensland, it's amazing who you run into. We've just come over the hill here onto Rainbow Beach, and here's this beast of a 6x6 LandCruiser with Brad McCarthy from MaxTrax. Good to see you, Brad.
You too, Matty.
Mate, this thing was a huge hit when we put it in the magazine earlier this year. People love it. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it since then too, because you've been doing a lot of travelling with it.
I have, mate. Yeah, I've just been out to the centre, so did a trip out, went out for the Big Red Bash, and then went across to Alice, and then up to the Kimberley, did the Toonumbar, did the East Kimberley, broke a shocky on the Gib River Road, so that sort of curtailed that activity for a bit. So we sort of limped back to Alice Springs, put a new one on it, and then did the Madigan line. So been back about a week and thought I'd come up and spend some time in the office.
Yeah, what an office.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
A bit windy today though, but it's been really nice up here. We've been having some fun.
Yeah.
We got some of your new MaxTrax on the roof of our car.
Yeah,
we haven't had to use them yet, thankfully,
Okay.
but we will be later on, I'm sure. Mate, tell us a bit about the new product.
Well, basically, you know, the shortcoming or the issue people have is they spin the tyres and they burn the teeth.
Yeah.
So we've sort of been trialling different materials, and it looks like the metal is going to be the solution. So basically replaceable metal teeth. So they should last most people forever.
Yep.
And if somehow you damage them, you wear them down, I don't know how, but if you wear them down, you can take some out of there and replace them, or we'll have replacement teeth available.
Yeah, so they're alloy, yeah?
They're aluminium alloy, yeah, and they're coated with like an electroplating black. So, yeah.
They certainly look the part.
Yeah, well, I mean, that sort of makes the perfect product then.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much the same design throughout except for the teeth.
Yeah, there's the teeth actually screw in, and they've got like a little blip that locks them in place, so they can't rotate.
Yep.
So they're on the same orientation as what we know works.
Yeah.
Just that the traction is sort of instant, you know, because it's a metal. There's no give in the the plastic. There's a little bit of give, whereas with them, as soon as the tyre gets on it, it's in.
To make it a great product better.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, mate, I reckon we should get out of this wind. Want to go for a drive up the beach?
Good idea, mate. The pub's about 10 k's that way.
Sounds great.
All right, let's go.
So, Brad, you're saying there's been a bit of erosion and landfalls up here?
Yeah, mate, there's quite a few trees down. I'm just looking up the beach now, and there's a section there that we mightn't even be able to get past now.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. It's always a stunning part of the beach, all the colours in the dunes up here.
Oh, it's always a lovely drive, but around high tide's not ideal. It's I don't know what the rocks look like up at Mudla at the moment, but I've got a funny feeling we're not going to be going too far.
Yeah, when I was getting the permits, they did mention you couldn't get past the rocks up there. So mate, how does the six-wheel drive like the sand? Looks like it's got no worries.
Yeah, I probably should let the tyres down, but I'm too lazy. Because you've got to let down 6 and then you've got to pump 6 back up. Judging by the tracks, it's had a busy weekend.
Yeah, but a few people up here, obviously.
Yeah, I'm just looking up ahead of us and it looks like that slip's taken trees right down to the water's edge. You can see some of this erosion, looks like it's only just happened. I think this is about as far as we want to go, mate. Just looking at that stuff up there on the left, and it doesn't get any better up to those trees. I think this is probably as far as we're going to get.
Yeah, we're not going around those trees, mate, for sure.
And then if you get round them, you sort of got to deal with the rocks up at Mudlow, which is about another 8 k's away. So you go past here somehow, and then you get stuck up there. You got nowhere to hide.
No, we'll be turning around and heading back to town that way, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a freshwater road today.
Right, we've got to go that freshwater road on the way out.
Yeah, mate, a bit of a detour, but a lot safer in the long run, that's for sure, for getting to Rainbow.
Yeah, mate, that's all right. Won't take us too much longer. But we'll find a place over there and camp by the pub somewhere, I reckon.
That sounds like a good idea. Find a spot and have a beer at the pub, that'll be fantastic. But yeah, I mean, those rocks, about, what are they, about 8 kilometres up the beach. They claim a lot of cars every year and they're just not worth risking it.
All right, Brad, thanks for that little trip up north there. That was great, showing us around, and we'll check out some of those spots up on Fraser.
No worries, mate. I wish I was coming with you.
Cheers, Brad.
So what do you think about the 6x6, Ron? Did you see another axle cutting under the back of your Patrol?
Oh dear, the old girl wouldn't know what to do with it, mate. You know, so it's a pretty impressive beast though, isn't it, that 6-wheel drive?
Looks like you could take it anywhere, just the sort of thing you need.
Incredible tourer, that's for sure.
It never ceases to amaze me how fast and constant the evolution of vehicle lighting is. It seems like it was only yesterday we looked at the latest from Nava, the 215 LEDs, and they were a fantastic light. And here we are again with another brand new product from Nava in LED vehicle lighting. The new Nava Ultimate 225 and 175 LED lights feature enhanced optic drive technology. And what that is, that's the new reflector design, giving you a better beam from just 2 or 3 chips. With the 225s, they're punching out 1 lux at 730 metres and the 175s at 650 metres. That's a pretty punchy light for just a 3-chip LED light. They use an almost indestructible polycarbonate lens on front and this daytime running light tube to give them a stylish look at all times. Nava has also applied its advanced optic drive technology to its latest range of light bars. Here we've got the 22-inch Explorer double row bar, advanced technology running from the back of the reflectors to give you a better beam going forward. These light bars use a die-cast aluminium construction, so it dissipates the heat off the back of them. Really solid. Like all the Nava products, they're IP67 rated for dust and moisture ingress, so they'll last forever. These are great quality products from a good brand. These exciting new LED lighting products add to the exceptional range of automotive products from Nava.
Our bush to beach adventure is finished here at Rainbow Beach. We started in the rainforest of Richmond Ranges National Park, wandered up through a couple of national parks there, up the Condamine River, into the Scenic Rim around Brisbane, found our way through Brisbane to Cooloola and the beautiful Noosa River, done a bit of canoeing which I really enjoyed, and slipped onto the beaches up to Double Island Point. The variety of the landscape we have experienced has been phenomenal. From rich verdant rainforest, right through heathlands and then down onto the beaches of southeast Queensland. It's been phenomenal. Seen some great wildlife too. Now we're off to discover some of the islands of southeast Queensland. Join us next time.